Hello guys, gals and gamers, and do you know what? I have an album. Now, you might be asking yourself, what is in that album? Goes pretty neatly, doesn't it? Well, if you haven't read the title yet, congratulations. Pokemon cards, loads of them. Way too many to count. Quite a lot, yeah. I have actually collected for quite a few months all Pokemon as Pokemon cards. Well, at least the ones that have been released so far. Not everyone has, which is a shame, but I have done my best to catch them all. Or get them all. I didn't really catch them. But yes, let's go through this entire album and see what kind of cool stuff is in there. And alongside that, I will tell you about my journey of getting all of these cards. So that's gonna be fantastic. Yeah! Okay, so yes, here is the entire album. It is very, very hefty, and there is almost 1,000 cards in there. I don't have the full collection of all Pokemon because they have just not been released yet as cards, but I did my best. So there is about 1,000 in here. Missing some of the Paradox Pokemons and some of the later Pokemons, but I will get to those when we get to those. But yeah, here we have the original Kanto Starter Trio, of course. Moving on to the bugs and Rattatas and the birds of Generation 1. Here's Pikachu from Generations as well. I really like the arts on most of these, especially something like the Dark Golbat here. I think looks wonderful. And it's just like, I don't want to have too many expensive cards in here. I just want to have those that I think look neat. For example, this Poliwrath, which is from the original base set. I just think it looks lovely. And yeah, it's a really cool collection, and this is a fun project to do if you are really into Pokemon. Now, one of the harder to get cards is Kadabra here, because it was out of print, like the whole Pokemon was out of print for quite many years. But now it's actually coming back in the latest set in Scarlet and Violet, 151. So it's a special set. But if you're interested in getting all of the Pokemon, especially all from Kanto, that is a really good opportunity to do so. Another one of my favorite cards is this Executor over here. And that is half Japanese. I don't know why, but they made a card like this, and I just find it really funny that it is in here. All of the other cards here are, of course, in English. I could do Japanese cards, but oh well, I just haven't. And yeah, the Paldean Tauros here looks amazing as well. Ditto, looking like Geodude. And here we have some special looking cards. We have the Mew here, we have a Galarian Articuno. It doesn't really matter which form is it from a Pokemon. I just like having all Pokemon. I don't go for all forms because things will get really complicated with stuff like Unknown or, well, Spinder. But yeah, Typhlosion is poison type here because of a Delta species thing they did in Generation 3, I think, where they just suddenly changed all of the Pokemon's typings, which was a really neat idea. And they're kind of continuing it nowadays with the whole Terra thing, so maybe that's a little bit of an inspiration. Here's something that is surprisingly difficult to get is baby Pokemon, because they don't get printed a lot. Marill here looking absolutely wonderful, fluffy as well. I have a Gold Star Umbreon from Generations. It's not expensive, it's one of the cheaper ones. And yeah, really liking these cards. Really cool looking. And this is just, yeah, it's a nice project, but it is very difficult. It gets easier if you just like order everything online, but I kind of didn't want to do that. And all of these were from like what I previously had. I collected cards when I was a kid, and then I found a card shop nearby that I went to and got a lot of cards here. I don't like Generation 2 because it leaves like Celebi here on the last page all alone. It looks so weird to me. I wish there was a way to kind of cram a few of those into one space so Celebi would get pushed to the other page here, but you know, it's just like it just looks weird when Celebi is just there by itself. So yeah. Moving on to Generation 3, we are going by these quite quickly, but if you have any questions about these cards or want to know about these in detail, just leave a comment down below and I will be happy to tell you about these. But yeah, there were definitely some Pokemon that were more difficult to get than others. I think we will get to one of them quickly. Medicham looking really nice. I just like that art. But yeah, for some reason I also really like this Kavana. It's one of the cards I had from childhood, and I don't know why I like it, but I just like it so much. Here are Lunatone and Solrock looking quite nice and flashy as well. Altaria is a plushie, which is an interesting theme for a card. And here is one of the ones that are surprisingly difficult to get. It's the fossil Pokemon. And they just don't get printed as much, so that's why they're a bit difficult to find. And one of the last Pokemon I got for this whole project was actually Caracosta from Generation 5. And yeah, I had to go far and wide to search for it, and I actually found one when I was traveling in Paris. This generation ends neatly, just Deoxys ends the page and there's no more on the other side. That is lovely. Yeah, I found one in Paris, Bibarel, Cricketune looking lovely as well. I found in Paris on the last day of my travels. There was like a huge anime expo that I went to, and as luck would have it, I found another cool card in there as well. And then I lost it at the airport. I had my bag open for a while, and then it fell out. That was not nice, but I found one soon after. Here are more difficult to find baby Pokemon like Bonslimam Jr. and Chingling especially has not been printed in like 15 years or something. It's ridiculous. Hasn't been printed since like when Pokemon Platinum came out, so this is a really difficult card to find. Bonsly is getting a print nowadays now, so it's a bit more easier to find, but some of them are just very difficult to find, and really surprising how just little there are of some Pokemon. Glaceon here is missing, but I'm gonna put it on screen. I have a Japanese Glaceon, but I just didn't want to put it in here because it's in Japanese. I do have it, you can trust me on it, but I just didn't want to put it in this album because it's in Japanese, and everything else is here is English, so yeah. Shamin EX, yeah, and Arky is also looking really nice. I don't like Victini here because it messes up with the starters. It's like 3-3-3 every other starter line, but because Victini is first in the Unova Pokedex, it's here as the first one, and it kind of bugs me. This Oshawott is really cute. Yeah, but yeah, I just like going through this collection, looking at it. Generation 5 is one of my favorites because I kind of grew up on it. I grew up on a few generations. Started playing with Generation 3. 4 was nice, but the main thing I liked about it was the GTS. Molga here looking very cute as well. But really got into Pokemon with Black and White, and then of course Black 2 and White 2. Oh, those games are so fantastic. I love them. They're really fun. But yeah, from this Oh, here's a sideways card. It's a golden mandibles. It's very interesting as well. And I think we saw Catacosta a few pages back here as well. That was, yeah, this one was really just difficult to find. Hasn't been printed in a while. So yeah, some of them are just really difficult to find. Reshiram, really cute as well. And I love this Keldeo here as well. It's just a bunch of cool cards. And now we're back to normal by having 333 for the starters. No Victini messing up the page. And Generation 6. Generation 6 altogether has some cool Pokemon designs, but the games themselves are not my favorite. But yeah, really fun Pokemon. Aegislash here, Esper is cool. And yeah, really nice. Hisui and Gudra, Pumpkaboo, Klefki, really nice Pokemon. And this ends just perfectly. Like, just goes into the next generation. No blank spaces left, just moves on to the next one with Alola. And I really like this Incineroar art as well. Looks nice. It's just, sleeping. This Marini is a special card as well. Not really anything special about it, but it has some history because there was a TCG leak when Pokemon Sun and Moon was coming out, and the first time we saw Marini was because an image of that card leaked on the side of like a trading card game box or something. So yeah, that's some interesting history about that card. And now we get to one of the hardest categories of Pokemon to find, the Ultra Beast, because they were only printed as cards during, of course, the Sun and Moon era, but haven't since. And some of the Sun and Moon sets, some of the cards are just hard to find. They're not expensive, but they're just hard to find. But the last Pokemon that was missing at all from this whole thing was this Xurkitree. It took me 6 months to find a Xurkitree, a single Xurkitree, from anywhere. And that's just because, who's carrying Sun and Moon packs nowadays? No one. Okay, now moving on to Galar. The Galar starters are probably my least favorite of all starters. I just don't vibe with any of them. I have no emotional connection to any of them really. Some of the Pokemon are really cool, but some of them just I could forget that they exist. Galar is not one of my favorite regions of all time, but yeah, we are already at Galar, so we are nearing the end already. This has gone quite fast. Alchemy here looking very lovely as well. I just love these art cards that they're making. I don't know what the actual term for them are, but I just like calling them art cards, and they just look neat. And here I added Hisui to the end because it's technically the same generation, ending with Enamorous. And then we have the latest generation, Scarlet and Violet. And you can see something interesting about the cards here is that if we look at the previous ones, they have yellow borders, but with Scarlet and Violet they decided to do grey ones instead, which was an interesting change, but they've had grey borders in the cards in the Japanese sets for forever, I think. So it was a change that was eventually maybe gonna happen, and I'm glad it eventually did. And some really nice cards in here as well. Finizen and Palafin just came out recently, I have them as well. But here's the first ones that are missing, which is Gimmighoul and Golden Go, which are coming, I think, in November. And yeah, the rest of the Paradox Pokemon are missing as well. Gimmighoul and Golden Go are here. These are just Paradox Pokemon, I think. But yeah, Frigibax, Artibax, Baxcalibur, Wochien, Chien-Pao, Tinglu, Chiyu, and then I think Iron Valiant, Roaring Moon, and then Koraidon and Miraidon. But that is all of the Pokemon that have been made into cards. And I just really like this project. And if you have like any questions on how can you make a project like this yourself, it's really easy. Just go through your old collection, see what you already have, get a really big binder of cards, and start collecting. Go to like a local game store that sells cards, see if they have single cards, and just make like a spreadsheet of what you have and then start filling them. It's not that complicated. You probably know what to do. You can check sites like Cerebi, Pokebeach, or whatever application you use to keep in touch with your collection and see what kind of Pokemon have what kind of cards. It's really easy, it's really fun. But yeah, that was my collection of Pokemon cards. Well, all the different ones. It's the Pokedex binder. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, back to me now. Ooh. So, I hope you enjoyed this video of me showcasing a lot of Pokemon cards. But don't worry, I might make some more Pokemon card videos in the future if you so like. I don't really know. I don't know what I'm doing with this channel. I don't know what I'm doing with my life at this point. But yeah, hey, if you like this, like and subscribe, because that always helps me out in my plans to conquer the world. So, I have nothing else to say here, so subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye! Yeah, something, well...